Well, hello, Underground parents. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Um, Absolutely loving this series we're doing on identity. It is so core. Well, it is the core of who we are. Understanding the truths, leaning into them, and also identifying what lies are out there. And understanding that we are not a product of those lies. Today is so connected to all that. So we've had 3 or 4 weeks previous, we started off by talking about new creation, how the first nature we were given was the sinful nature by Adam, but God even met him there, and he sacrificed a living creature, a sinless creature, so that Adam and Eve could be clothed, and that they wouldn't have to feel shame. He's done even more so in Christ, that we get to be clothed with Christ. We get to be clothed with his righteousness and have his right standing with God. And that's now how God sees us. We've talked about orphan spirit, how the core of orphan spirit is control, wanting to take control. And I think the last week's story was really key on that one. We talked about the girl who woke up in the middle of the night to siphon through garbage to make sure that she would get her next meal, instead of having faith that her new father would provide. So many of us have this amazing new father. So the listening to the devil is called fear. Listening to God is called faith. We have also talked about how we are a masterpiece. And even though we may not feel like a masterpiece right away, we are in process. We are becoming like that. And that is really an amazing picture. And we're going to be talking a bit more about today, like how when we see ourselves, we see this unyielding slab of marble. When God sees us, he sees us as the masterpiece beneath it. Remember, that's what Michelangelo said about David. When he saw the slab, he didn't see the slab. He saw David, and then he got rid of all the parts that weren't David. And that's what God does with us. Really amazing. So today what we're going to be talking about is that we are reflections of God. The key verse that we're going to use as a springboard to get into all this is 1 John 4 verse 17. As he is, so are we in this world. So as Jesus is, so are we in this world. That is a wild concept that is probably hard to believe, but it's true, and that's what we're talking about here today. So all this starts off in the Garden of Eden. In the first few verses of the Bible, it says that we were created imago Dei. We were created in the image of God. Fast forward to Colossians 1. There's this amazing and beautiful poem, and I would really encourage you to read that around dinner. It says that Christ is the image of the visible image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. He is the image of God. We are the image of God. Isn't that neat? Christ came to earth for many reasons. One of them was to unveil the Father, to reveal the Father to us. Now another one that we don't talk about that much, is that he came to reveal who we are to us, who we truly are. You see, when God sees us, he sees that sanctified version. He sees that finished product. He sees the David underneath the marble. That's how God sees us, because that's who we truly are. That doesn't take away from our individuality. We still get to be completely individual. We still get to be completely ourselves. But he just sees us in that finished product, in that finished version. That's how God sees us. Now, what is amazing and what this means, and I'm gonna end on this thought, is that because our mental game, what we say to ourselves, our self-talk, we could say, is so much of how we view ourselves, what we allow ourselves to think, what we allow ourselves to say regarding who we are. Now, if it's true that who he is, so are we in this world, not even just like in heaven, but in this world, that's who we are. If that's true, then if you can't say it about Jesus, you can't say it about yourself. You can't have that negative self-talk of, oh, I'm an idiot, or I'm a failure, or I'm useless. I mean, could you say those things about Jesus? Is he an idiot? Is he a failure? Is he useless? If you can't say it about Jesus, then that's not true about your true self, about who you really are.